Good morning, everyone. I've been asked to share a perspective on stewardship here at Christ the King for today's temple talk. To be a steward is to use the gifts God has given us to fulfill the purpose for which God created us, to preserve and care for God's creation, which encompasses everything from our environment and all creatures great and small, to our neighbors and our own selves. There are many ways to not only be a steward as part of this congregation at Christ the King, but also to benefit from the stewardship of the congregation. So what does this mean for me? Why am I here at Christ the King Evangelical Lutheran Church? Well, how I got here is pretty simple. I was born here and I grew up here. But of course, there's more to me still being here 33 years later. This church is home. It's my family. And like a family, it has cared for me. I have benefited from the stewardship of everyone here, from the pastors and Sunday school teachers who have guided the development of my faith my whole life, to the youth leaders, parents, and my fellow participants in the Luther League when I was a teenager, to the music directors and my fellow singers in first the children's choir, then the youth choir, then the chorus and church choir. The other part of it is that this church has provided me with ample opportunity to be a steward in turn. Not only have I benefited from the stewardship of others here, but there has always been, and I hope there will always continue to be, a place for me to lend my time and what gifts God has given me to the loving care and faithful service to this church home for as long as the Spirit leads me to be here. Among other things, I have served as a worship enabler. As a child, I was not only in the children's and youth choirs, helping to lead worship through song, but I was also an acolyte, carrying the torches during the service, and as a teenager and young adult, I was a crucifer, carrying the cross. As a member of the Luther League, of course, I loved having fun with friends, but it was deeper and more profound than that. Aside from being a worship enabler as an acolyte, the Luther League was where I really started to learn what stewardship meant. Because interspersed in all the fun and the worship were opportunities for service. Whether it was contributing to renovations at other churches by ripping out old pews and power washing siding, or filling shoeboxes with small but needed items and heartfelt notes of thanks to gift seafarers, or stuffing Easter eggs with candy to scatter in the courtyard. The projects we helped with were every bit as meaningful and profound as learning how to worship. As an adult, one of the things that brings the most joy to my soul is music. And what a blessing it is that we as a congregation like to sing. More than just singing to God, though, music is one way, a very important way, that we spread the word of God. I've been a member of the chorus for nearly 20 years, starting when I was a freshman in high school. There have been long spells of time when I was unable to participate due to being away at school or due to long work hours, but the Spirit has always led me back. And of course, for those of you who don't know, most recently I was nominated to be on the committee to call a new senior pastor, and I felt called to accept. It's an honor and a responsibility that I don't take lightly, because this process will happen on God's timeline, and it takes a commitment to see that through. And without commitment, there can be no stewardship. Thank you.